This is the inside of the Sterling Eccles Ruby. If I firstly move to the main control panel just here, I can turn the 12 volt on just here on the power button. Beside this we have water pump on and off. We need the water pump on so we can get water out of the taps and fill the boiler if it has been drained down. Battery selection, so if we were hitched up to the tow vehicle we could switch over and run the back end of the caravan off the vehicle in an emergency. And then we have view levels just here, so this gives us a condition of the leisure battery, and if we were connected to the tow vehicle it would also give us a condition of the vehicle battery. Just here is just indicating that we are using the caravan leisure battery and that we are also connected to the main supply. If I now just come down to the bench seat just here and remove the cushions, you can see that in the corner just here is the Truma boiler. To drain the Truma boiler down for either travel or winterization, it's just done on the yellow lever just here. Before draining it, always make sure that the water pump has been turned off, and then all you need to do is just lift up and it will then drain all the water out of the boiler directly underneath the caravan at this point just here. If you are fully winterizing the caravan, I always suggest that you then also go around and open up all of the taps, because this will help release any airlocks in the system and help it drain down far more efficiently. When it comes to refilling, make sure all the taps are closed. Close the boiler drain valve. Fill up the aqua roll, drop in the submersible, turn on the power and then the water pump. And then the water pump will begin refilling the boiler. Let it run for a few minutes and then begin opening the taps. They'll cough and splutter just as they force the air out. Once the water is running freely on both hot and cold, reclose, and then the system will fully reprime itself. Also in here you will find some 12 volt fuses. They are labelled up along the top just here. They are mainly for stuff that basically is on the outside of the caravan. We then have the control box for the alarm. And the control board for the power touch motor mover. If for any reason the handset will not link up to this control board, you can take the aerial and just plug it into the rig set just here, and then if you then turn the handset back on again it will then resync itself to it. But the main reason that the handset will not communicate with the control board are if the leisure battery is too low, that if you have forgotten to turn the isolator switch on in the battery box, or you've turned the switch on in the battery box and then left it for a little while, because these boards will time out and turn themselves back off again, so you will need to turn it off and turn it back on. And the other main reason is that the batteries in the handset itself are too low. Just here we have the main 20 amp fuse off the leisure battery, and then just here is the consumer unit. So just here we have the 12 volt fuses. They are all numbered up, so if anything is not working on 12 volt, just check to see if you've blown a fuse, and as you can see, it all corresponds on this part of the sticker just here. We then have the trip switches just here. So we've got the individual MCBs, then the main RCD and test button just here, and again corresponds on this part of the sticker here. These two buttons are more for the workshop, but if I press it, it will basically give you condition of the leisure battery and condition of the vehicle battery if you were connected to the tow vehicle. You can ignore these ones because this particular model does not have an onboard water tank. We then have full system shutdown, so if you're not using the caravan for long periods of time, you can press this button just here and it will then kill any residual draw on the leisure battery. Over here we have 3 isolator buttons for components that use mains supply. So if you're connected to mains electricity and you want hot water via the mains, all you need to do is just press this button just here and then it will heat up the hot water in the boiler. It will give you a water temperature of around about 60 degrees. Do make sure that when you do not require hot water that you turn this off, and that you also make sure that it is turned off if you have drained the boiler down, or you do run the risk of burning the element out. This next one here is the isolator button for the electric element in the space heater just here. We then have battery charger on and off. We want the battery charger on so we can charge the leisure battery whilst connected to the main supply. And then we have this little red square just here. This will illuminate if you have reverse polarity connected to the caravan, which can sometimes be found on some continental sites. If you require hot water via the gas because you're not connected to mains supply, you just need to come to the top dial just here. You'll see we have an inner dial and an outer. If I now flick the outer down, a green light will come on and the boiler will attempt to light itself. Do make sure that the flue cover has been removed, or otherwise it will definitely fail, and if it fails to light, a red light will appear. On gas you can control the temperature of your water, so you can heat it to a very low 30 degrees and right the way up to a very hot 70 degrees. Beneath that we then have the control for the electric element in the space heater. So again we have an inner dial and an outer. At the moment it is on O for off, and if I flick it all the way down you will see that it says 1000, so we are now running it on main supply using 1 kilowatt. If I flick it up, it's then main supply using 500 watts, and if I go all the way to the top, we can run it on main supply using 2 kilowatts. So these settings here are mainly just dependent on the amperage of the site you're on to try and avoid tripping. And then we control the temperature just on the inner dial here, 1 being the coolest and 9 being the hottest. Again, if you don't have main supply, you can run the space heater on gas, and all you need to do is just come across to the dial just here, turn it, and you should be able to hear it ticking away. If I now hold it down, once it stops ticking, it's usually a good indication that it's lit. And when you let go, you can usually then hear it whoosh. To make sure that it has lit, you can peer for the pilot light just in the window just there. If when you turn this you're not getting any ticking noise, it may just mean that the igniter needs a new battery, and the battery is just located underneath this section just here. You just slide it up and there's a little AA battery. And then regardless whether you are using the space heater on main supply or gas, this part here just controls the circulation fan, which allows the air to be blown around the caravan out of all of the air ducts. To turn it on, just flick across to the left and then control the fan speed just on the dial just here. A will do absolutely nothing. On this particular model, you do have to have another thermostat fitted inside the caravan, which would then allow the fan to click on and off. Underneath the bench seat just here is a good storage space. Also just tucked at the very back is the water pump itself. All the lights in the caravan are 12 volt and all turn on and off on their own switches. The only lights that are main supply are just these two just here. So if you're not connected to mains, they will not work. Radio just here, on and off just here. CD in here, eject on here. You do have auxiliary plug-in point just here. To change tracks or search for radio stations, just press.
Thank you so much for speaking to us. It's great to have you.
SRC will switch you between FM, your auxiliary.
To us, Lucy Neal, an artist from the
Select down here will allow you to change your treble, your bass, etc.
Having with our anonymous midwife talking about.
Next we have the Thetford fridge, on and off just here. So at the moment we're now running the fridge on mains electricity with the picture of the 2-pin plug. If I now press the button just here, we can switch over to 12 volt maintain. We're going to get a blue flashing light and an error code at the moment because we are not connected to a tow vehicle with the engine running. This is what we have it on to keep the fridge cold whilst on the move. And then if we have no main supply, again we can run the fridge on gas. Again, if there's a problem with it lighting, the blue light will begin to flash and you will get an error code, and you will obviously also get an error code if you are trying to run it on main supply and you are not connected. Temperature control just here. Venting arm just here, so if you're not using the fridge, you can just vent it to stop it from going mouldy. Storage just here, so we have the cutlery drawer, and then we have the pull-out racks. Also in here you will find some of the gas isolation taps. They're all in the on position, and quite frankly they can stay like that. I always say if you do smell gas in the caravan, go to the source and turn off the gas bottle. They're colour coded and it tells you what each one is on the sticker just here. Microwave just here. Always advisable to remove all contents for travel. This will work when the caravan is connected to main supply, we have start, stop just here. You then have your auto selection just here, power just here. Very handy if you are on a low amp site. The hob, so we've got the electric hot plate just here, and again, like the microwave, will work when the caravan is connected to main supply, and it operates just here. We then have the 3 gas rings, and it's just a matter of pushing in, twisting and pushing the igniter. Beneath that we then have the grill. And then the oven. Beneath the oven we have storage, and we also have a plug plugged in, which is for the electric hot plate. Just tucked here is the storage compartment for the draining board and the sink cover. TV connection points just here, and then you will also find some more just down here as well. But on this particular model, it does give you the option to fit a television just here. The television aerial itself is just located inside the wardrobe. So we have the aerial mast itself, and then the digital amplifier just here. You do need to make sure that this is on, or otherwise you will not be able to tune a television in. On and off just here. And then we have a low boost and a normal boost. Do make sure that it's on the normal boost. To raise the mast, loosen the collar and then push up. The red dot represents the point of the aerial, so you know which way it's facing. Get it into the position you require and then retighten the collar. Try to avoid over tightening or you may split the collar. At the moment the aerial is sitting like this. We can flip it to a vertical for additional tuning just by turning the tail just here. Always make sure that it's back in the horizontal for travel and that it's also lowered. The bed will lift up, and as you can see there is plenty of storage beneath it. And then as I move to the rear of the caravan, we have the cassette toilet just here. The bowl does swivel. To open to the cassette, just slide the grey lever across and then push to flush on the blue button just here. Level indicator just here, so this will illuminate to let you know when the cassette needs emptying. If this has been left open and you try to remove the cassette from the outside, it will not come out. So if you do feel resistance, just make sure that nobody's left it open. We then have the basin just here. And then the shower cubicle just here. And the freestanding table just here. The chest of drawers at the front can be removed, and it can be made into a full U-shaped lounge. It's very easy to remove the chest of drawers. If I just remove some of the cushions first, and now you can see that all you need to do is just basically slightly lift up and then just take it off these little grub bits just here and slide it out. To make the double bed, just pull the slats out, and then it's just a matter of dropping the cushions into place. This can also be done if the chest of drawers is still in situ, but you will just have a slightly smaller bed.